Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in every person's life when they will face the hard truth that they are no longer valued, no longer seen for who they truly are. It may come from a partner, a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, but the pain is real. The heartache is deep. But let me tell you something powerful, something you need to hold on to. They will regret losing you. Not because you're seeking validation from anyone, not because you need someone to recognize your worth, but because you understand something fundamental about life, something they have yet to realize. You are not meant to be anyone's second choice. You are not meant to be a placeholder or an afterthought. You were born with a unique set of gifts, talents, and potential that the world needs. There is no one else who can offer what you bring to the table. When they let you go, they are not just losing a person, they're losing a piece of their own future. They're losing the opportunity to experience the fullness of your heart, the brilliance of your mind, the depth of your spirit. But here's the thing, when people walk away from you or when you're forced to leave them behind, it's not the end. It is a beginning. It's a new chapter where you will step into the truth of who you are, where you will rise higher than you ever thought possible. You will go on to show the world that you are not defined by the space someone else leaves when they walk out of your life. No, you are defined by what you create, what you become, what you achieve when no one else believes in you. People don't always see the value in others until it's too late. They take you for granted. They assume that you'll always be there, that you'll always forgive, that you'll always love. But there is a limit. You can only give so much before you realize that your time, your energy, and your heart are worth more than being treated as an option. The moment you begin to value yourself, the moment you recognize that you deserve respect and loyalty, is the moment everything changes. And when they realize what they've lost, when they look back and see the door you closed behind you, it will hit them like a ton of bricks. That's when they will regret it. They'll regret taking you for granted. They'll regret letting you walk away when you were offering them your best, but by then, it may be too late. You see, people only regret losing you when they understand the value of what they had. And oftentimes, it's in the silence after you've gone that they will reflect on everything you did for them. It's in the moments of loneliness, the moments of confusion, that they'll think back to the conversations you had, the support you gave, and the love you shared. But by the time they come to their senses, they may find that you've already moved on. And when you move on, you don't just move physically, you move emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You move to a higher version of yourself. It's never easy to walk away from people you once cared about. It's never easy to cut ties with those who seem like they were meant to be in your life forever. But sometimes leaving is the best thing you can do for yourself. Sometimes it's the only way to show the world, and more importantly yourself, that you won't settle for less than you deserve, that you won't keep pouring into empty cups, that you won't keep letting people treat you like an afterthought. When you walk away, you are making room for the right people to enter your life. You are opening the door to new possibilities, new relationships, and new opportunities. And here's the key: as you walk away, as you let go, you begin to unlock the power that has always been inside of you. You become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. Never forget this: your value is not determined by how someone else treats you. Your value is intrinsic. It is built into the very fabric of your being. No one can take it away from you unless you allow them to. And once you recognize that, once you truly know your worth, you become unstoppable. You become the person who doesn't settle, who doesn't shrink, who doesn't dim their light for anyone. Now, I know it can be hard to not let the actions of others affect your sense of self-worth. It's tempting to wonder, why didn't they see what I was offering, or what did I do wrong? But I want you to shift your perspective right now. What you offer to the world, what you bring into every relationship, every encounter, is a gift. If they don't recognize it, that's their loss. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change your capacity for love, your ability to achieve, or your potential to make a difference in this world. It's simply an indication that they weren't ready for you, or perhaps that they were never meant to be in your life. And here's another truth that you must embrace: not everyone deserves a place in your life. Not everyone who comes into your world has the capacity to appreciate what you bring. Some people will take and take, but they will never give back. They will never honor your efforts, never cherish the moments you spend with them. They will drain you without ever filling you up in return. And that's when you must make a decision. You must decide that your peace, your happiness, and your well-being are more important than holding on to people who don't deserve to be in your life. But don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean you close yourself off from the world. It doesn't mean you build walls around your heart. It simply means that you become more discerning. You start to recognize the energy that people bring into your life and make a conscious choice to surround yourself with those who lift you up, who see your worth, who are willing to invest in you as much as you invest in them. It's about quality over quantity. It's about building relationships that nurture your soul and help you grow, rather than relationships that drain you and keep you stuck. They will regret losing you because they will realize that they had the chance to be part of something extraordinary and they didn't recognize it until it was too late. But this is not your problem. This is their journey to learn. It's their lesson to grasp. And while they're busy regretting, you will be busy rising, growing, and creating the life that you deserve. You see, when people lose someone who is genuinely kind, loving, and driven, someone who is full of purpose and ambition, they are losing an energy that is rare. They are losing a force of nature that can't easily be replaced. But the beauty of life is that when people leave, when things fall apart, you have the ability to rebuild. You have the power to pick up the pieces of your heart, your mind, and your spirit and create something even more beautiful than before. You have the ability to transform your pain into power. So let them regret. Let them look back and see the value in what they had. Let them reflect on the love and loyalty you gave and recognize that they took it for granted. Because by the time they realize it, you will have already stepped into your greatness. You will have already moved on to the next chapter of your life, where new doors open and new opportunities await. And when you do, you'll realize that what you thought was a loss was actually a blessing. What you thought was a setback was a setup for something greater. You will understand that every person who walks out of your life is simply making room for the right people to come in. And those right people will see your worth. They will value what you bring. They will appreciate the effort, the love, and the energy you give. In the end, the ones who let you go will regret it, but the ones who appreciate you will help you soar. Keep moving forward, keep being yourself, and keep shining brighter than ever before, because when they lose something irreplaceable. And as for you, you gain everything you need to continue on your path to greatness. The speech emphasizes that your value is intrinsic and not determined by how others treat you. Recognizing your own worth is essential to moving forward and not settling for less than you deserve. It highlights the importance of setting boundaries and walking away from relationships or situations that drain you, showing that sometimes leaving is the best way to protect your peace and personal growth. The speech suggests that those who take you for granted or fail to appreciate you will eventually regret it once they realize the value of what they had, but by then, it will be too late because you've already moved on and grown. It encourages using the pain of loss or rejection as fuel for personal growth. When others leave or distance themselves, it creates space for new opportunities, relationships, and self-improvement. The speech reinforces the idea that when you let go of the wrong people, you make room for the right ones, and that you will rise and become even stronger, smarter, and more aligned with your true purpose. The foundation of a fulfilled and empowered life begins with a deep understanding of your worth. For many of us, this idea of self-worth is something that can often feel elusive, something that we struggle to grasp fully, especially when we're caught in the comparison trap or dealing with the judgment of others. It's natural to question your value, particularly when the world around you sends messages that your worth is determined by external factors, by your success, your appearance, your social circle, or your possessions. But here's the powerful truth that you must internalize your worth has nothing to do with those things. It is intrinsic, woven into the very fabric of your being, and it cannot be measured by how others perceive you or how you compare to someone else. Understanding your worth means recognizing that you are deserving of love, respect, and success just by being who you are. It means accepting yourself fully, flaws and all, without the need to seek constant validation from others. The moment you truly understand and embrace your worth, you stop looking outside of yourself for approval, and you start to make choices based on what feels right for you, not based on what others think or expect. This realization is the key to unlocking your potential because it frees you from the limitations that come from doubting yourself or placing your value in the hands of others. Too many people go through life undervaluing themselves, staying in relationships that drain them, or working jobs that don't align with their passions because they don't believe they are worthy of anything better. They may think that they have to earn their worth or that it depends on how others treat them, but that's a fallacy. The truth is your worth is inherent. It was never something that needed to be earned or proven. It has always been there and it will never change, regardless of the circumstances in your life. It doesn't fluctuate based on your successes or failures. It is constant. Once you grasp this concept, your life will begin to change in remarkable ways. You'll begin to make choices that honor your true self, even when those choices are difficult or uncomfortable. You'll stop tolerating disrespect, and you'll refuse to settle for relationships or situations that don't align with your values or aspirations. When you understand your worth, you recognize that your time, your energy, and your love are precious resources that should not be given away freely or to people who don't appreciate them. Another important aspect of understanding your worth is realizing that you deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful. For many, there's a subconscious belief that happiness or success is reserved for a select few, or that they need to earn these things by meeting certain external standards. This belief leads people to sacrifice their own happiness, putting it in the hands of others or waiting for approval. But when you recognize that you are worthy of happiness by your very existence, you begin to take responsibility for creating a life that reflects the belief. You stop waiting for permission to be happy and start living with the confidence that you deserve joy and fulfillment no matter where you are in life. You understand that success is not a matter of luck or privilege, it is a matter of believing that you are worthy of success and taking the necessary steps to achieve it. When you begin to truly know your worth, it's as though the world shifts. Suddenly, you realize that you have the power to shape your own destiny. You understand that you don't need to depend on anyone else's validation to feel good about yourself. You stop looking to others to define your value because you already know that you are valuable simply by being who you are. The way you move through the world changes because you operate from a place of confidence and clarity. You no longer feel the need to constantly prove yourself or seek approval. Instead, you begin to make decisions that are in alignment with your highest self, with your deepest desires, and with your truest values. People often get caught up in trying to meet the expectations of others, whether it's family, friends, society, or even the media. We are conditioned to think that we must look a certain way, act a certain way, or achieve certain milestones to be considered worthy or successful. But this way of thinking keeps us stuck in a cycle of chasing external validation, constantly seeking something outside of ourselves to feel good enough. When you understand your worth, you stop playing this game. You begin to live life on your own terms. You stop trying to meet the expectations of others because you know that those expectations are often unrealistic and do not reflect your true potential. Instead, you embrace your uniqueness and recognize that your individuality is a source of strength. This doesn't mean that you become arrogant or self-centered. Knowing your worth doesn't make you superior to others. It simply means that you no longer tolerate being treated as inferior. It means that you hold yourself in high regard and expect to be treated with respect. When you truly understand your worth, you radiate self-respect, and others begin to mirror that energy back to you. People will treat you the way you treat yourself, and when you value yourself, you teach others how to value you too. It's also important to remember that knowing your worth doesn't mean you're perfect. You can acknowledge your worth while also recognizing that you have room to grow. This is the beauty of understanding your worth. It allows you to accept yourself fully, even as you continue to evolve. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to have everything figured out to be deserving of love and success. Your worth isn't contingent upon meeting external expectations or standards. It's about embracing who you are right now, at this moment, and knowing that you are enough. When you begin to truly understand and live from a place of self-worth, your whole life begins to transform. Relationships become healthier because you're no longer settling for less than you deserve. You stop attracting people who treat you poorly because you no longer tolerate that kind of behavior. You attract people who respect you, who see your value, and who treat you with the kindness and love you deserve. You also start to build stronger, more authentic connections because you're no longer afraid to show up as your true self. In your career, knowing your worth means that you won't tolerate being undervalued or underpaid. You'll step into your full potential, knowing that you have unique skills and qualities that the world needs. You won't be afraid to negotiate for what you deserve, whether it's a promotion, a pay raise, or the recognition you've earned. You'll be willing to take risks and pursue opportunities that align with your passions because you know that you are worthy of success and fulfillment. Your self-worth also plays a crucial role in your mental and emotional health. When you know your worth, you are less likely to fall victim to negative self-talk or self-doubt. You are less likely to let others' opinions of you dictate how you feel about yourself. Instead of constantly second-guessing yourself, you trust in your abilities and decisions. Even when you make mistakes, you don't beat yourself up over them. Instead, you see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Your self-worth gives you the courage to be vulnerable, to embrace imperfection, and to keep going, even in the face of adversity. There is immense power in knowing your worth. It's the foundation of confidence, resilience, and success. When you understand that you are worthy of the best that life has to offer, you begin to demand it, not in an entitled way, but with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you are deserving. This understanding allows you to walk through life with your head held high, regardless of the challenges you face. It enables you to move forward with purpose and clarity, knowing that you have the strength and the ability to create the life you desire. But the most beautiful part of truly knowing your worth is that it becomes contagious. When you radiate self-love and self-respect, you inspire others to do the same. You show them that they too are worthy of love, success, and happiness. By embodying your worth, you create a ripple effect that spreads to everyone you meet. This is the power of self-worth. Not only does it transform your own life, but it also has the potential to change the lives of those around you. Self-respect is the cornerstone of a fulfilled, empowered, and healthy life. It's the understanding that you are worthy of being treated with dignity, kindness, and fairness at all times. Self-respect isn't just about how you treat yourself, it's about how you treat yourself. It's about how you allow others to treat you. It's the foundation upon which all of your personal relationships, career aspirations, and personal development must be built. Without self-respect, we tend to allow ourselves to be mistreated, undervalued, and taken advantage of, and it can drain our energy, undermine our confidence, and even lead us to settle for situations and relationships that don't serve our best interests. True self-respect comes from within. It is an internal state of being where you acknowledge your worth, your value, and your uniqueness, and you refuse to let anyone compromise that. It involves setting boundaries that protect your energy, your time, and your emotional health. When you have self-respect, you recognize that you deserve to be treated with care and consideration, and you make choices based on that understanding. It's not about arrogance or superiority, it's about recognizing that you are a person of value and that you are deserving of the best life has to offer. The first step in cultivating self-respect is understanding that it is not contingent upon the approval of others. Too often, we base our sense of self-worth on how others see us or how they treat us. We look for validation from family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers to feel good about ourselves. But when our self-esteem is dependent on external validation, we give away our power. The opinions of others can be inconsistent, influenced by their own biases, insecurities, or experiences. When we tie our self-worth to the ever-changing opinions of others, we open ourselves up to being swayed, hurt, and even manipulated. Self-respect means that you understand your worth without needing constant reassurance from anyone else. You know who you are, what you stand for, and that you are deserving of respect, love, and kindness regardless of how others treat you. The second critical element of self-respect is having the courage to set boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They define what you will and will not tolerate in your relationships, your work, and your life. Without boundaries, we often find ourselves overwhelmed, drained, and resentful because we allow others to take more than they give. We end up overextending ourselves, whether it's by giving too much of our time, energy, or resources to people who don't appreciate it, or by accepting behaviors that we know are hurtful or disrespectful. Setting healthy boundaries is essential for maintaining self-respect because it ensures that you prioritize your well-being above all else. Boundaries communicate to others that you value yourself, and you expect them to do the same. People will regret losing you because at some point they will realize what they had, but regret is not a tool for them to win you back. It's not something you should wait for in hopes that they'll recognize their mistake. It is simply a reminder of why you left, why you moved on, and why you no longer tolerate behavior that undermines your worth. In relationships, sometimes we stay too long, hoping that things will change, hoping that the person will wake up and see our value. But the reality is, people often won't change unless they are ready, and even when they do, it may be too late. The regret they experience is their consequence, and it's something that they must deal with. It is not a reflection of you, but rather a reflection of their own inability to see and appreciate what they had when they had it. One of the hardest truths to accept is that some people will only learn the value of what they lost once it's too late. This can apply to past relationships, friendships, or even professional connections. You may have given your time, energy, and effort to someone or something, and in return, all you received was indifference or neglect. You may have been overlooked, taken for granted, or mistreated, and when you finally decided to walk away, the realization of what they lost might come crashing down on them. For a time, it might even feel like they don't care, but deep down, they are likely aware of their mistake. Regret is often silent, but it is powerful. It is the silent acknowledgement that they had a chance to treat you better, to love you, to appreciate you, and they failed to do so. However, it is important to recognize that their regret does not diminish your value. In fact, it further emphasizes your worth. You were not the problem. The problem was their failure to appreciate what they had in you. And while their regret might feel validating, it is important not to allow it to become a form of validation that holds you back. If they regret losing you, that's their journey to experience. It is not your responsibility to guide them through it. Your responsibility is to continue moving forward, to continue growing, and to continue creating a life that reflects the value you place on yourself. In the end, the regret of others is a reminder that we all have a limited amount of time and energy to invest in people and relationships. Life doesn't wait for anyone to realize their mistakes. Time moves forward, and the consequences of our actions or inactions become clearer with every passing day. When you decide to walk away from someone or something that no longer serves you, you are making a choice to honor your own worth and to take control of your own happiness. People might regret losing you, but that's not something you need to hold on to. Let them have their regret, but don't let it define your future. Your future is in your hands, and it's filled with possibilities and opportunities that have nothing to do with the regret of others. Ultimately, people who regret losing you are not the ones who will define your happiness or success. You are. Your growth, your happiness, and your sense of fulfillment come from the choices you make, the boundaries you set, and the value you place on yourself. Their regret is simply the price they pay for not recognizing your worth when it mattered most. But their regret cannot take away the fact that you are deserving of love, respect, and the best life has to offer. So let their regret be theirs to carry. You have a future to build, and it's one that is not defined by what others failed to see, but by what you know to be true about yourself. Pain is an inevitable part of the human experience. We all go through it at different points in our lives, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual. Sometimes pain can feel like a weight that drags us down, suffocating our ability to see beyond the present moment. It can feel endless, like a storm that clouds every part of your being, leaving you feeling lost, broken, and helpless. But as much as we hate to admit it, pain is also a powerful catalyst for growth. It's in the depths of our suffering that we often learn the most profound lessons. It's in the darkest moments of our lives that we find the strength to transform, to rebuild, and to rise again, often stronger than we were before. The concept of growth through pain is something that many people struggle to grasp. It's easy to look at others who seem to have it all together, whose lives appear smooth and easy, and wonder why pain is a part of our own journey. We may ask ourselves, why me, or why does it always seem like I am the one who has to suffer? The truth is that suffering is universal. Everyone experiences some form of pain, even if they don't show it. The difference between those who grow through pain and those who are defeated by it lies in how they choose to respond. Pain is not just something to endure, it is something to learn from. When we go through difficult times, it's natural to focus on the pain itself. We focus on the heartache, the stress, the anxiety, or the physical discomfort. It's hard to think clearly when we're in the midst of suffering. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if we saw pain not as something that happens to us, but as something that happens for us? What if we saw pain as an opportunity for transformation, an invitation to grow into the person we were always meant to become? Growth through pain doesn't mean that the pain magically disappears. It doesn't mean that you stop feeling the hurt or that everything becomes easier. It simply means that through the experience of pain, you become more resilient, more self-aware, and more capable of handling whatever challenges life throws your way. Pain has a way of revealing our inner strength. When we are forced to face adversity, we often surprise ourselves with how much we can endure. In the face of pain, we discover a deeper sense of purpose, a stronger will to survive, and a clearer vision of who we truly are. The first step in growing through pain is accepting that it is a natural part of life. We often resist pain because we fear it. We avoid it, run from it, or do everything we can to numb it. But the more we resist, the more pain tends to persist. Pain doesn't go away simply because we try to ignore it. In fact, resisting pain only prolongs the suffering. Acceptance is not about surrendering to pain or giving up. It's about acknowledging that pain is here right now and choosing to face it with the understanding that it will pass, that we are stronger than we realize, and that we can learn something valuable from it. When we accept pain as part of the process, we open ourselves up to the possibility of growth. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided, we begin to see it as a teacher. Every painful experience is an opportunity to learn more about ourselves. Pain can reveal our fears, our insecurities, our limiting beliefs, and our strengths. It can teach us about our values, what truly matters to us, and what we are willing to fight for. Through pain, we gain clarity. We begin to see things more clearly because the distractions of everyday life fade away, and we are forced to confront the truth. One of the most profound lessons pain can teach us is the importance of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from setbacks, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges we face. It is not something that comes easily, but it is something that is built over time through repeated exposure to difficult circumstances. The more we face pain and hardship, the more resilient we become. We begin to trust ourselves and our ability to navigate difficult situations. We start to see pain not as something that defines us, but as something that strengthens us. Pain also teaches us the importance of self-compassion. It is easy to be hard on ourselves when we are in pain. We may feel like we should be stronger, that we should be able to handle things better, or that we are somehow weak for struggling. But the truth is, it is human to feel pain, and it is important to be gentle with ourselves during these times. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and patience that we would offer a loved one who is suffering. It means acknowledging that we are doing the best we can in the moment and that it is okay to not have everything figured out. When we show ourselves compassion during times of pain, we allow ourselves the space to heal, to process, and to grow. Another powerful aspect of growing through pain is the ability to shift our perspective. Pain has a way of narrowing our focus, making us fixate on what's wrong, what's broken, or what we've lost. But when we choose to shift our perspective, we can begin to see the bigger picture. Instead of focusing on the pain itself, we can start to see the potential for growth that lies within it. We can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? How can this help me become the person I am meant to be? Shifting our perspective is not about dismissing the pain or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about recognizing that pain is a part of the process, a stepping stone on the path to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The process of growth through pain is often not linear. It is full of ups and downs, twists and turns, and moments of doubt. Sometimes it can feel like we are taking one step forward and two steps back. But even in those moments, growth is happening. Even when we feel like we are not making progress, we are learning, adapting, and becoming more capable of handling future challenges. The key is to keep going, even when it feels difficult, even when it feels like the pain will never end. With time, the pain begins to lose its power over us. We start to gain distance from it, and we realize that it no longer defines us. Instead, we define how we respond to it. Growth through pain is also about letting go. Sometimes the pain we experience is tied to something or someone we need to release in order to move forward. Letting go of the past, of old patterns, or of unhealthy relationships can be one of the most painful yet liberating experiences. It is in this process of letting go that we create space for something new, something better. We free ourselves from the emotional baggage that weighs us down, and we allow ourselves to heal and grow. Letting go is not easy, but it is necessary for growth. We cannot move forward if we are still holding on to the past.